I also make my own sakes, which are very, very popular at my restaurant. These are a couple sakes that are inspired by Native Americans. Native Americans during times of famine used to eat the inner cambium of pine because it's highly nutritive and it has high levels of vitamin C so that they wouldn't get scurvy. So the sake on the right, which is the green one, is made out of white pine needles. On the left, it's made out of red sumac, which also occurs in 49 states. Another reason why I do it is because I want to raise a conversation of eating different types of ingredients that aren't necessarily commercially available, which wouldn't put a strain on the environment through industrial farming. Also, I'm always trying to raise the point that the way we eat is not necessarily the right way to eat, by introducing people to ingredients. Not necessarily that's different to shock them, but to open their minds up to different ways of thinking when it comes to food. This one is our wabi-sabi roll, and it's inspired by a fantastic book a really small book by a very, very famous Japanese author that I recommend that anybody reads. It's called In Praise of Shadows. And in it, he coins a term called wabi-sabi. And wabi-sabi in Japanese has evolved to mean transience, imperfection, impermanence in nature, in the way that things become destroyed or break down or die, but not necessarily in a way that is bad. I think like in Western culture, we think death is the worst thing, or that you disappear, it's the worst thing. I remember when I was in college learning about nirvana in Buddhism and thinking that it was the most frightening thing ever. But now that I know more about wabi-sabi, I realize that impermanence is very, very beautiful. And it really is a way of thinking about man's connection to nature. And that's why this photograph of the wabi-sabi is taken this way. It's on a piece of wood that's aged and breaking down, but there's something really beautiful about it. And when you talk about a wabi-sabi structure and architecture, you're talking about like a Japanese temple made out of stone and wood that is 1,000 years old, and despite the fact that the stones are worn down and broken, despite the fact that the elements have rained and snowed upon it, it's still very beautiful in its own unique way. You also see how the wood is cut, and it's obviously been sawed. And that's really symbolic of human beings' relationship to nature, I think, in the way that human beings can destroy or remake nature, but you can do it in a beautiful way. So therefore, we can have a relationship, wabi-sabi reminds me, that is in tune with nature, that doesn't necessarily go against it and destroy it. This is the bluefin tuna, and we do not have a wabi-sabi relationship with the bluefin tuna. It is the poster boy of, or the poster girl of endangered species that are being eaten by the sushi industry. It's one of the most gorgeous fish around. It grows to 1,200 pounds. It goes faster than a torpedo. It's got warm blood that goes through it, and it's going to disappear soon at the rate that we're eating it up. At our restaurant, at Mia's, we are the only sustainable sushi restaurant in the Northeast and one of 4 in all of America. We don't serve bluefin, of course. We don't serve farm salmon. We don't serve red snapper, octopus, eel, Maine sea urchin. The list goes on. And we do that in order to create a cuisine and evolve a cuisine that is not traditional and that is rethinking our relationship as eaters to nature. One of my solutions that I have is by creating new vegetable rolls. We have the largest vegetarian sushi menu in the world. And sushi rice is not healthy at all, traditional sushi rice. You know, it's been hulled, it's nutritively empty, it's sweetened. Often, there's always some sort of sugar in it. So with our recipe, it's an 8-grain recipe. I don't even remember everything in it, but I know there's quinoa in it. It's got all the amino acids to be a complete protein. It's got barley, it's got oats to lower your blood pressure. It's a fiber-filled rice combination. It's also got ground flax in it to give you omega-3 fatty acids, so if you're completely a vegetarian, it's a completely nutritive grain combination. This is called Kiss the Smiling Pig. It's got sweet potato, mango chutney, and pine nuts. The next one, another example of a vegetable roll, is broccoli, roasted garlic, and black bean with the same rice combination. This is our Kani Baba. It's the crown jewel of what we make. As an artist, I'm pretty psyched about this because it's sculpture. And this is made out of a couple of different invasive species. The crabs on it are Asian shore crabs. They're climbing a mountain of potato skin infused with Arctic charbone, stuffed with blue crab, topped with Connecticut Havarti cheese and a lemon dill sauce. You'll see little snails on there. They're European common snails, which are also an invasive species. And why I started eating and creating recipes out of invasive species is because the cuisine of sushi is built on eating exotic creatures. And in order to create or take pressure off of the oceans and other species, I figured, well, why don't we eat species? For instance, there's a lionfish that's terrorizing the oceans right now. It's absolutely edible, but there's no commercial boats that go out and get it. And fugu, which is a pufferfish, is very, very popular in Japan because it's poisonous, which makes it exotic. But so is the scorpion fish. And as far as something absolutely delicious and you can get for free, you've got the Asian shore crab.